you're into body feedback, you got to do this with me, okay? Even if you're totally new or just curious about how body feedback can work for you and your health, and you want to try something really wild, this is what we're doing in this video so you can experience it for yourself. We're going to jump right in because there's a lot I want to share with you about how you can access a body's data to make more informed decisions and the noise from all of the conflicting advice and opinions out there, and ultimately improve your health, no matter where you're starting from or even what you're dealing with. Here's what you can do with the right feedback method. You can check in on the health of your thyroid, hormones. You can test why your hair is falling out or why you're so itchy. Stay with me because after we dive into that, we're also going to dive into product testing you can do yourself so that you can verify what's helping you versus hurting you. And all this takes mere minutes without any tools, brand bias, or even practitioner interpretations. You don't need any of that. I said this would be wild, so are you ready to dive in? You might want to save this video to refer back to later or share it with someone who's struggling. First, there are 3 essential steps in this feedback method. You need all 3 in order to see any real or lasting change, but you can use them each independently too. Before we get into these 3 steps, there's a pre-step setup test, if you will, and that has to be done first. Here's why. Many feedback practitioners often say they don't trust the feedback they get. So we're going to solve that issue first. Now, this method doesn't care which feedback tool you use, like muscle testing, energy, intuition, pendulums. The first pre-test is, am I testable? We're going to do that together right now. Here's what you're going to do. Take the pad of your index finger, put it on the bridge of your nose, and at the same time, take your leg and you're going to push down, okay? Looks like this. Pad side, push. You're going to flip your finger over to the nail side and do it again. Push. That's it. That's all you need to do. Did you see that subtle shift? One way, it was pretty easy for me to hold my leg up even though I was pushing. But as soon as I flipped my hand over, one way became harder for me to resist, if you will. That's it. That's all you need to know. That indicates that you're in a testable state. Now, if this didn't work for you, it just means there's something we need to fix first. Usually not a big deal. It could be resolved with a little sip of water or a bite of food. That should correct it. Then come back here and try it again. You can pause this video. I remember this one time in a live workshop many years ago. There was like a few hundred people in the room, and this one guy just couldn't feel the shift. So I asked him to come up onto the stage and said that we would fix it together. Turns out he was a smoker. Now, my mentor taught me decades ago that smokers get their energy from their cigarettes. And after all, we are working with energy here. So I asked him, put a cigarette in your mouth. Don't light it, because it had been a while since we had a break. So he did that. And just simply holding the cigarette in his mouth was enough to allow the energy to flow again so we could continue. There's a lot of other troubleshooting techniques too, but for now, we're going to move on. Okay, now we're going to dive into the first of the 3 steps. You're going to do this with me. This video is highly interactive. So where do you think that we start? Drop it in the comments. See, a lot of my students, when they first begin, they think we start with solutions like, how do we fix gut health? Or what do you need to end chronic fatigue? But if you start there, this is why most of us try a bunch of things and nothing ever works. So we start instead where the body's priorities are, not the symptom that's the loudest. Seems crazy, right? But by the end of this video, you'll see why this matters so much. But for now, think about it like this. You wake up exhausted. You just want to go back to bed, but you can't. So you turn to more caffeine, maybe an energy boosting product or ginseng, just to help you to survive another day, when the real culprit is your adrenals that need support. So all those energy products are like whipping a tired body just to keep it going instead of supporting the way your body needs the support. because if you just did that, then you would have the energy you needed, right? Here's a brief demonstration because I can't possibly go through everything in this video, but here is how you can test yourself to get a sense of this concept. Again, we're going to use the same feedback tool for this first testing step in the simple health test method. All right, we're going to get back into position. I'm going to hold my leg up, and as I'm pointing to the left side of my body, I'm going to push. So left side, push, center, push, right side, push. Now, wherever your leg dropped, maybe for you it was the left or the center or the right, but it would likely be one of those three areas. And that's an indication of the side of the body that you're going to dive into to find your body's priority, its needs. But then we break that section down, like imagine these imaginary lines, into various body locations so you can see exactly where your body wants you to start. So let's say, for instance, you felt a shift when you pointed to the center of your body. That might mean the brain, the thyroid, the heart, maybe gut health. This way, we're not randomly guessing. It helps to narrow it down, right? If you're a practitioner, could you imagine how this could help you in minutes to identify what's going on? Or if you're someone who's been run around and no one really knows what's wrong or even where to start, this is how you can find out fast without any tools. It's wild, right? This helped me so much in my practice over the years to pinpoint precisely what we need to focus on. Now, this next step, number 2, this is where we get to finally dive into solutions or remedies. Things like foods, oils, herbs, supplements, or products that support what you now know you need to focus on first. Here's what that looks like. Now, you may have seen this part in many feedback practices, but we're going to elevate that beyond a simple yes, no body response. Here's why. Because we need to see the difference between something that's a little bit helpful versus what gets you to the finish line without upsetting the apple cart somewhere else in the body, right? You don't want to support your thyroid, for instance, with a product that's going to upset your spleen or cause your hair to fall out. You want all the facts to make your decisions the best decisions possible. Let me demonstrate this next using 2 techniques I wrote about in my book. So using the typical yes-no body responses of muscle testing, where you hold something to the center of your body and you say, is this good for me? You definitely want to dive deeper into this step. One example, test your cheek. Seriously. The cheek location indicates an allergic reaction. Think peanut butter or shellfish. I remember this one client years ago who was literally allergic to everything. I was a little afraid to recommend any products for lupus. But all I knew for sure is that the feedback testing pointed to a product that would work and passed all the feedback markers. And they desperately wanted to try this product because they had struggled for many, many years. So I suggested just start with the tiniest drop on the bottom of your feet, kind of like a patch test like you would do for allergies, just to be safe. Anyway, they went home and they took it, and I attribute the reason everything was fine is because this one marker and the full compatibility sweep test that I always perform at the end of a testing session to catch anything else that I might have missed. I was so grateful that I did that in cases like these or where someone just might not know they have an allergy to something. This one cheek test is a favorite for pet parents because our pets can't tell us if the foods, the treats, or the products are quietly causing reactions until symptoms escalate to the point that you visually see a problem. Okay, the final testing step, number 3. This is that overarching final test to help ensure that step number 1 and 2 went smoothly and that your final decisions all play nice together. Here's what I mean. See, most of us don't just support our health using one product or supplement. Typically, we use several support items as we age, as the quality of our food changes, and other factors, right? So now you have some wild body feedback testing you can start to use in your everyday life. And I recommend that you write down what you find So you remember this later. It will help you keep track and elevate your health in ways you never even thought were possible. Save this video, practice these simple health tests. I share them on social media because we were never taught this kind of stuff. And it's my belief we should be. These are practical skills, life skills. Our health affects every part of our life, from your income to your relationships, if we're being completely honest. Your health is your biggest asset. Think about that for a minute. Your health can limit how you live or help you live a more vibrant, active life. If you'd like to dive into this method more personally or professionally, let me know. I'm happy to chat with you. A connection call link and other resources I mentioned in this video are below in the description. Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video helpful, I'd love to make more videos on what you're interested in. Happy testing!